wrong. That is the only thing that's right about. We're in chapter 13, verse 13, is that they're both cities. The word Ir is correct, but you're completely 100%. Even though I think you're amazing, let me just clarify that. What? You definitely did, but it's really important that you're here. So otherwise, forget. I'm sorry if I embarrassed you. Would you rather I said you're right, even though you're? Yeah. Would you rather I said you're right, even though you're 100% wrong? No, of course you wouldn't. So there's two cities. There's an Ir Miklat. That's a city that you run to if you accidentally kill somebody through like homicidal negligence. And then you run to that city of refuge until the death of the Kohen Gadol. But the Ir Hanidachat is a different city. What city is that? Anybody know? That's a what? What? Yeah, that's a city that worships idolatry. So you have to kill and destroy everything in this city. Before you get too excited about it, the Talmud and Sanhedrin says, according to one opinion, there never was and never will be such a city. But another rabbi says, I sat on the pile of that city. Finally, I said something which you guys said we learned. Finally, Baruch Hashem, Omer. Okay, Omer, you can read now. Go on. Okay, when you will hear in one of your cities that Hashem your God will give to you to dwell there, saying, Hashevet Sham. Rashi says this excludes the city of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem was not given for dwelling. Means to say Jerusalem can never be what's called an Ir Hanidachat. Jerusalem can't be. Yeah, but in order for it to be Ir Hanidachat, it has to be, you'll see, it's not just one or two people. You'll see. Okay, by the way, somebody said to me, somebody was making fun of like Tel Aviv. I said, do you know how holy Tel Aviv is? This person was criticizing. I said, tell them people there, they're serving in the army, they're preserving the land of Israel. It's in one of the holiest cities I can even imagine. Okay, Eitan, please read for us Pasuk Yudalad. Eitan's also joining the army. Chayal.
And I told you, Rav Kook
Max
was
and
the
I were
first chief
speaking
rabbi.
heavily about this. That's what I said also. Yeah.
Rav Kook was the first chief rabbi, and
Okay, wait. So hold on. So because Rabbi Yosef couldn't hear you. So what when you come to the city and you say Yatsu, we're in chapter 13, verse 14. Great to see you, Ezra. Missed you. So they'll say Yatsu Anashim B'nei Buyal. Hold on one second. Mayor, I have something for you. And Ezra, I have a present for you guys. Do you like construction or cooking? Which do you prefer?
I don't even know.
What about you, Ezra? So I'll give you a tape measure that measures according to biblical measurements. Pass this down, Ezra. And you can have that, Mayor, or you could have one that helps you cook. Which would you prefer?
Well, I got to do the opposite then.
Okay, fine. I'll give you one that helps you cook. Exactly. This way, when you make the challah for Shabbos, you use this.
Thank you, Rabbi.
I know, my pleasure. This way, you'll always be thinking in the measurements of the Torah. Okay, so he says, wicked people went out from your midst. They led astray the people of their city, and they said, how you doing, Leah? Do you have a yortzeit tonight?
Yeah, my brother's. Armin?
Yeah, I remember him, of course. May Hashem have an aliyah. So, may Hashem have an aliyah. Here, Leah, this is for Leah. She makes the most amazing baked goods. That way you don't have to use Goyish measurements. You don't measure it using the Bible. Oh.
Give it to my son-in-law.
So now this one's for you. Okay. So he says, the wicked people went out and they caused everybody to go astray, and they said, let's worship other gods. So welcome to Rashi. Eitan, vakasha. Eitan, echa ivrit shaka. Beseder. Now look at Rashi בעברית. Eitan. They threw off the yoke of God. What's a yoke? Anybody? We keep saying this word. Does anybody know what a yoke is?
On a horse?
I think it's not on a horse, but it's on an ox. That what? To drive the ox. I don't know if horses wear yokes. They don't think so. Usually it's on oxen. I mean, I'm no expert in farming, but
Over two.
no, you could be right. They could be sometimes yokes on donkeys, but I've never seen it. But that doesn't mean anything. I'm no expert here. Okay, go on. Yatsu on Hashem, read that.
Hashem v'lo Hashem.
Meaning to say, men and not women. If women lead to the city to idolatry, then that's a loophole. The laws do not apply. It only become an idolatrous city if it's led by men, not women. The rabbis learned it out from this verse. They're going to exclude a lot of things because they say it'll never happen. So you'll see a lot of things being excluded. Go on.
Yoshvei Iram v'lo Yoshvei Ir Acheretz. V'kol Amru ein nasetz Ir Anita Vat Al Hayadtiv Fula Hashem V'al Shiyu Madifei HaMitzvah.
Right. It only becomes a city of idolatry, this city that's destroyed, if it was led astray by the people of that town. They can't have interlopers that come in, the hired people to come in and lead everybody astray. That's not going to be classified as this city of idolatry. So there are all these loopholes because we don't actually do it. You'll see why. Max.
Rabbi.
Hold on 1 second. Rabbi Yosef is contributing. Yes, Rabbi Yosef.
You said about Tel Aviv. The first chief rabbi of Tel Aviv was Rav Kook, that famous Rav Kook, and he called it Ira Kodesh. And
right, of course.
So
yeah.
And can you
Thank
please
you.
make me co-host so I can share the screen?
Yeah, of course, sure. Okay, so Max, please, Bakasha.
The Rashta, the Karta, the Shaalta, Hitay, Ligine, Emerson, Hadalar, Meesta, Hatoiva, Hazon, Rebecca.
Right, so Vidarashta, Vichakarta. You investigate, you check, and you ask, and you inquire well, and behold, MS, Nachona Devar, it's true. This abomination was done in your midst. Max, would you please read the Rashi for us?
The Rashi Re'eh, the Shalta Hetiv Mikan Lamdu Sheva Hakirot Midvoy Hanikra Han Yesh Shalosh Trisha.
Okay, wait, let me just summarize it because you're reading great, but let me just summarize it. That from here we see that when the witnesses come before you, you have to ask 7 questions, 7 classic questions to that if they don't know the answer to that, then they're disqualified. There is, however, an exception to this rule where we don't try and save the defendants. And that's, anybody know where that is in the Torah? Where we normally the criminal justice system is, and in the Torah, is always about protecting the defendant and trying to find ways to help the defendant. But there is an exception to that rule. Anybody know where that is?
Yesterday's class, no?
Rabbi Yosef.
I
Let's go. Well, anybody know? Yes, it was yesterday's shir. Is what we discussed yesterday. That the person who's the inciter, the one who's the masis, who incites everybody to do idolatry, that person, we don't warn him. He does not require warning in advance. We don't require that person. We can entrap him. We're commanded to entrap him. That person, the Torah says, do not have any compassion on such a person who's trying to incite people and lead them astray. That's called the masis. But everybody else, we have to go out of our way to do this drisha v'chakira, to try and investigate well, to try and bring this person to a place of to try and find a defense. Okay, Eli, please, vakasha. Aketa,
At the Shved here, the feet correct. Hacherem, Bata, Bed, Kosherba, Bed, Ben, Bata, the feet.
Okay, exactly, Eli, you read that beautifully. So let's see, what does this mean? Now, the Torah doesn't mess around. Torah doesn't mess around. When you Hakei takesh. Surely strike, you shall strike. And the Torah says here, if you can't put that, Rashi says, if you can't give if you can't kill them the way you're supposed to, then hamita ba'acheret, kill them a different way, give them a different type of death. Meaning you're supposed to kill them by the sword, but if you can't do that, give them a different type of death. You have to wipe these people out. Kill the whole city. You have to destroy the whole city by the sword. Acharei Mosa, destroy it, everything in it, also the animals by the sword. Everybody goes down. Everybody goes down. So, how many people in the city what percentage have to be sinners in order to destroy the whole city? Everybody follow my question? What percentage of the city has to be sinners? 100%?
They only learn by Avram.
But that was not 100%.
Kept saying, I guess.
He said as long as there's 10.
But eventually he said, oh, fine.
Right, he stopped at 10. Right, is that what you're saying? 90%? What were you going to say, Rabbi Yosef?
51, but the Gemara in Baba Batra says that they have to be citizens of the city for 12 months. And again, going back to the idea of
Majority.
men,
Rabbi Yosef says the majority of the city has to be
majority of adult men who are already citizens there for 12 months. So because if the place is so bad, the Torah is basically saying just leave the city, right? Like if you hear that in your city that the city council started going a different way, and we're not talking about the Shvatim anymore, but just get up and leave and move somewhere else, and that way, those people will die because of their sins, but you won't be affected. The city won't have to be completely wiped out.
Exactly. So Rabbi Yosef's pointing out it's the majority of the city, not as much as was in the time of Avram. And that's a good question that Akiva is raising. Akiva is very sharp today. I shouldn't have given him a hard time for that earlier answer. I appreciate that he took the shot. But I'd much rather somebody take a shot and get it wrong than just be afraid to say anything. And he's bringing up a very good point. Why by Sodom? Why did it with Avram have been okay saving Sodom as long as there were 10 people? Here we don't say that. So that's a good question. Why is Yeranidacha so much stricter than Sodom? That's a good point. I haven't thought about that. We'll have to investigate that question, Akiva. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll hopefully get a good answer to that question.
But maybe it relates to the same exact idea that the majority of the people of Israel were already keeping the Torah according to the Torah, and therefore this is so out there that it would be so impossible. And so, but in the time of Sodom, it was the opposite. There was no Torah.
Rabbi Yosef has a good point that Sodom, they couldn't get away with that because the Torah had been given, so you needed more people. But we'll investigate it. Yeah. But it's a good question, Akiva. Very good question. Judah, please, Vakasha, read the pasuk. Judah. Pasuk. The pasuk is Yud Zayin, Judah.
From that.
Yes, very good, Judah.
Bet calls the lava see the boats.
Boats.
The boat out of Rehoboth, the Zaraq, the Vaesh, Ha'ir, Bet calls the lava. Khalil, Le Hashem, Alecha, Breita. Tell Olam Ba Tibanet.
Right, you should destroy the whole city, everything. You burn it in fire. Everything is burnt. It'll be a pile forever. So this one, if the nations of the world got a hold of this passage, the Jews would be in trouble. But this is what it basically says, that when there's a town where the majority of the people are committing idolatry, you have to destroy the whole town. You have to not only destroy it, you have to burn everything and leave it there as a reminder. But just before we go out and start claiming justification to do certain things, caution you that Talmud says it never happened. And not only did it never happen, it also never will be. That never was, never will be. Never will be such a town that's judged in this manner. Never will be. Not because there aren't wicked towns, but because the rabbis didn't want to get to that point. The rabbis didn't want to get to that point. So interesting. A lot more to discuss here. We're stopping in the middle. Just before we stop, I want to show everybody I got a new place card. You see, look at this.
Oh, your famous picture.
Oh, you saw this picture? Oh, on my WhatsApp. No, where'd you see it? Instagram?
Maybe you showed it to us.
Yeah, I showed it.
I've seen
This
it.
was me at the Grand Canyon blowing the shofar.
I remember you told us a story. Like everyone was looking, and a couple of Jews said that it was like the best part of their day.
Really? That I don't remember.
You told us that.
Okay, could be.